If you take a look at the food sector's condition that has been going through several evolutions over the last 2 centuries, you will feel very sorry for our health. Food has become more of an industry now whose main goal is to make good profit and wealth. Forget about the food's quality. It is not as important as its quantity, sadly, nowadays. No one pays the price except for the local citizens. Basically, all of us pay the price. Have you ever guessed why is there a big number of people getting poisoned, killed, or infected with bacteria and different intestinal diseases? It is probably the result of eating disorders. Food production has become a monopoly, which is all about money only. For example, Monsanto, the multinational company, a company that is so desperate to make a profit at the cost of people's health. Monsanto is a multinational corporation that is specialized in the fields of agrochemical as well as agricultural biotechnology. The organization's famous misdeed is Agent Orange. Sound familiar? It is a deadly toxic herbicide which resulted in many cases of intoxication in Vietnam. To be precise, this thing is defined by the World Health Organization as potentially carcinogenic. It could lead to fatal infections and malformations. That is why this corporation is seriously fought against from all over the world. In other words, we need to put a stop for those authorities that take our health for granted just to keep a title for themselves. Pesticides, a deadly chemical compound. What does a pesticide mean? It is a chemical compound that kills some living organisms and different species. Herbicides are the most famous pesticides that are used for weed control. Moreover, insecticides are used to kill insects, and fungicides are used to get rid of fungi. There are also some pesticides that kill birds and harmless animals that know that the crops are their only source of food. Not only do animals get affected by these chemicals, but also human beings are harmed by them. These deadly chemicals might cause males sterility, abortion, problems in pregnancy, deformities, and even cancer. These chemicals could cause some critical and serious diseases and infections that are incurable. As far as the agricultural workers are concerned, their population is the most affected. Furthermore, nature as well suffers as much as we and the rest of the creatures, which are victimized by pesticides too. The environment gets polluted, the food chain gets disturbed, and the air we breathe is suffocating us. The water is unhygienic, and the planet as a whole is threatened by the global warming. All of that is the result of using pesticides. Count the curses and the disadvantages. Fortunately, there are people who are alert enough to notice the danger and the demerits of using chemical compounds that are used to grow crops. They launch campaigns to educate farmers about the necessity of growing organic crops and using seeds instead of chemicals. It would take time, but it is definitely worthwhile. A lot of lives will be saved. Animals, birds, nature, and human beings will finally be able to breathe, eat, and drink without having to worry about the side effects of the chemical compounds used to grow the crops. In 2006, Paul Stamets, a famous international mycologist, bought a patent that would finally introduce many changes that the world needs. Pesticide industry administrators acknowledged that it was most disruptive technology ever seen. Paul Stamets discovered something that would save nature and prevent the insects from destroying the crops. His discovery is known as smart pesticides. It is a discovery which will outpace the harmful chemical compounds that have many disadvantages and impact nature in a deadly way. Does that mean that pesticides will be old-fashioned and out-of-dated one day? Fingers crossed, amen. Smart pesticides use mushrooms to control more than 20,000 insect types in a totally safe, harmless way. The mycologist's discovery is based on taking entomopathogenic fungi to transform them to stop producing spores and attract the insects. Once the insect feeds on it, it gets mummified, and that's it. Simple and safe. Imagine the world with organic crops and food that is completely natural without any chemical interference. Imagine how healthy everyone would be. Of course, fast food has become an addiction and perhaps even replaced organic food, but is it your choice? Because we already know that fast food is dangerous and as deadly as crops affected by pesticides. Anyway, there is news of accusing Monsanto of its responsibility for killing bees and butterflies. The company achieved a profit of about $2.7 billion in 2014, but after raising people's awareness, the consumers started to cut off buying this organization's deadly products.